470 yards is now the rookie record for yards in a game. Was this the best rookie performance ever? Was this the number
In my
one?
life, in my lifetime so far, like it's
This is the
like
best one that you've
470
seen?
yards is the most a rookie quarterback's ever thrown for in a game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the best one I've seen in a game.
So the ones that stood out to me, because I just for the ones that I remember going backwards. 2020, Herbert had a couple of more games that had more passing yards than this, but week 4 against Tampa, he was 20 for 25, 290 and 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And they went toe to toe with Tom Brady and the Bucks. That was the year the Bucks won the Super Bowl. And again, week 4, so that was like Herbert's third game, and it was kind of like, okay, he took on Mahomes, took on Brady, like he's definitely kind of got it. You've got Andrew Luck, 2012 Andrew Luck's rookie season. So he had the previous rookie record for pass yards with 433 against Miami, 2 touchdowns in that game as well. But the best game that I think he played from that rookie season, or maybe it's just my favorite game from that rookie season, but week 5 versus Green Bay, he had 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but they were down 21-3 at the half. He fought back, second half, dramatic comeback, fourth quarter comeback. It was a great game. There was a whole Chuck Pagano, Chuck Strong thing at that point. Bruce Arians had just taken over. So that was probably the best game he had played his rookie year. Cam Newton's first 2 games, he threw for 422 yards in his first game and then 432 yards in his second game.
My God.
Matt Stafford had week 11, his rookie season, 422 yards, 5 touchdowns against Cleveland. That game was 38-37. That was like a back and forth shootout game. That honestly, regular season is one of the more iconic games that Stafford has had. And then 2021, Mike White against the Bengals, 405 yards. Don't forget about the Mike White performance. 82% completion percentage, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, beat the Bengals. Are your meds wearing off over there, Fattaport?
It sounds like it, yeah.
do you need to re-up? But
No, we're good.
that luck one was I don't want to be biased again, but that to me, that Luck one was the best one I remember. That comeback against Green Bay was like a full on, because that was sort of his thing too in Stanford. Like he was obviously a generational prospect, but he was also that, oh, he's got the clutch gene, 2-minute offense. He'll bring your team down the field, and he'll win a game. You'll feel confident if you have Andrew Luck, and he pulled it out. But yeah, I mean, this Stroud one is just in terms of record books. I mean, it's right on top.
Can I throw a comparison at you? Okay, okay, I'm gonna do this comparison. I'm not gonna give you names. You're gonna tell me who's better, and then I'm gonna tell you who is who.
Okay.
Okay, guy number 1, 62% completion percentage, 283 yards per game, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Guy number 2, 62% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 185 yards per game. Who's better?
And both of these guys are this season.
No.
Oh, okay. This
One of them's not.
Is that a full season? That second one?
The second one is 21 games.
21 games. So is it a career?
Yes.
Is it 13 picks, huh? In 21 games. So it's a year 2 guy.
21 games.
It's not. I have I don't want to cheat because I have a list of quarterbacks in front of me, but it's not Purdy, is it?
No.
Purdy doesn't have 13 picks.
No.
185 yards?
So the first
Lamar?
guy, so the first guy is Stroud, obviously.
Yeah.
283 yards per game. The second guy is Kenny Pickett in a career.
Oh!
So Kenny Pickett does not even have as many touchdowns thrown in his career as Stroud does in 9 games.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. 8 games, 1 less game than I thought it originally was. Already has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett, who has played 21 games in his NFL career.
Well, so you're saying you'd rather have Stroud than Pickett. You're gonna
Well,
say
yeah,
that week 9 at this point?
and another. How is Kenny Pickett so fucking bad at football?
Oh,
He's just. Oh my god, I can't watch Steelers offense just because he's so terrible.
the drive-by shooting of Kenny Pickett. Maybe somebody in Pittsburgh wouldn't mind if it happened. No, I'm not saying anything bad. Just wing him on a shoulder, out for a couple of weeks. But hey,
Miles
maybe
Garrett needs to come and take his helmet off and chuck it at him. Maybe we'll get Mason Rudolph.
yeah, Mason Rudolph was the wrong guy. Can we get Miles Garrett mad again? When do they play? Can we get somebody to slide into Miles Garrett's DMs and tell him no, we might get in trouble for that.
We might get in trouble for that one.
We might get in trouble for that. But since we did get Kenny Pickett out of the way, I mean, the Stroud thing, like we're saying, it's been fantastic. And this was honest. This was the thing that I was saying when Richardson went out, was just in the moment. It was early in the season for both these guys. Like where those guys were at early on in their development, I think was close. But not getting that full rookie season, like you see the strides you're able to take just in one season. And Stroud has been, Stroud's having a fantastic rookie season. Yeah. So it's not like he was playing bad at any point. But I mean, now, like Richardson's not going to get this development, and Stroud could just have be separating himself like as the number one guy for sure. But, just missing out on that season, like this is what you get, because now we're seeing Stroud kind of fully form. He's getting comfortable. He's figuring some stuff out. So, he's definitely going to separate himself as the number one guy. But they did show a graphic during that game where it was like the longest streaks right now, or the most passes, I think, in the NFL without a pick, or maybe it was snaps or something. But it was most with one interception, and it was Stroud at 2 and Richardson at 3. So Richardson was still at number 3, even though he hasn't played the couple of weeks. And, he was still being good. But again, that just shows you how much that you can go, the course of development you can take in a rookie season.
Yeah. And if I'm being honest, the AFC South probably has the brightest future of quarterbacks ahead. Now that the Titans have declared Will Levis the starter.
Now that Levis has taken over.
Anthony Richardson will come back at some point. CJ Stroud is their starter. And then obviously first overall pick Trevor Lawrence is still going strong. Like that's got to be like the brightest, youngest quarterback future in the NFL right now when it comes to division-wise.
You've got Tua, Allen, Mac Jones, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is older. You got Burrow, Lamar in the AFC North is a pretty strong 1-2 combo. Then you've got
Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson. That just kind of
welcome back, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Do you avoid Burrow completely because of Kenny Pickett?
Yeah. Yeah, you avoid that division. Kenny Pickett is worse than the 3 of those other quarterbacks are good combined.
Hurts.
Does that make sense?
Hurts, Dak, and Howell over in the.
You're forgetting a team.
Sam Howell. Well, yeah. Tommy DeVito.
Good old Tommy. Yeah, that's Tommy another DeVito. One where it just like drags that division down. You can't include him.
But this is, of course, a classic game we do. Iconic game. It's time for CJ Stroud. Would you rather? It's time for, and this is also, it's kind of a combo game. So it can be, a personal for you, Fattaport. Would you rather have CJ Stroud versus this guy? Okay. Or like, it can also be like a who says no, like you might do it, but maybe the team, maybe, the team wouldn't do it. So you can give an answer for both, but going through the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So I have them divided up into tiers, and we're going to go through the guys. CJ Stroud, would you rather? Week 8, he's officially broken out. It felt like he had a breakout performance earlier in the year. There was like a Nico Collins, a big
Nico
game.
Collins went off for like 150. I remember that.
Yeah, this I guess is the full-on CJ Stroud might be. Like, I guess that is the thing, because it was like, okay, we got a good quarterback, definitely, but now it might be like, okay, we have a guy. So we're going to see what kind of guy we've got. So the first tier of guys, CJ Stroud, would you rather? This tier is, I have this tier labeled as the memory. The memory would just have to be wiped. This team would just hit their head. I don't know what happened. Car accident. Something happened. They just forgot. There's only one guy in this tier. Pat Mahomes, you're not doing it yet. No way.
No.
No, Pat Mahomes. The Kansas City fans aren't even. They're not even
Nope.
listening. There's something. Men in Black. They would have to erase the memory. And
Thanos would have to snap Mahomes away.
dust Mahomes. If the quarterback gets dusted, then they take CJ Stroud.
Then they take CJ Stroud. Yeah.
That's a good tier. Yeah, Mahomes is in that tier. The second tier is. So I have this tier as the slam the phone on the receiver tier. This is something that Sam likes to say where, the team picks up the phone, they'll listen, but if they, they're like, what is that? That's not an offer. Slam the phone. Bang, they're mad. They don't like the offer. So they'll listen to the offer, but they're not thrilled about it. I've got in this tier, and I'm not ordering these guys at all, but in this tier, I've got Trevor Lawrence, Burrow, Josh Allen, Hurts, Lamar as still not, you're not doing it. They're not really even listening at this point. I think Stroud is not broken. He's not broken over any of those guys, right? We're not there.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite. Not quite after the
now,
400.
For these teams, are we looking at specifically for this season, for the rest of the season, or for the rest of the player's career?
So, I mean, hey, you can answer it however you want. If if the Stroud thing is maybe a little closer for both than you think. I think sometimes that stuff can be a little, I think there's very few guys where it's like they're not real. Like Richardson might be like a case where it's like, okay, that's a guy whose production, like we're still not out on, even though the numbers, like I feel like if you're taking his career, he's probably produced to the point where you'd want him for next week.
Yeah.
In the most cases. But the next tier for Stroud, and this is maybe where it gets interesting. Again, the last tier I had Lawrence, Burrow, Allen, Hurts, and Lamar. So I have this tier as they're not going to do it after one good Stroud game, but they're definitely perking up. They're definitely like, oh, what did he just do? So would you rather, who says no? Would you rather Tua or CJ Stroud?
Tua.
Right now, week 9. Okay, Tua, still pretty safely Tua.
Yeah.
So this next one is obviously, I think, going to be even quicker for you. Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert, you're still, again, they're definitely not doing it after one good Stroud game. But are they slamming the phone on the receiver with Justin Herbert?
I think it's a slam. Yeah. I think they found their guy in LA. I don't think there's. I put him in to slam the phone down.
Even with Stroud on a rookie, does the contract play any factor into it? Any sort of like the team really, we've only ever even been in one playoff game with Herbert anyways.
Yeah, but has that really been Herbert's fault?
Yeah, it's fair. We can move him into the slam the phone on the receiver. I just wanted to ask about Herbert.
Slam the phone, but I understand the argument if he's not.
Are they slamming it with Tua?
I think they're slamming it more. Yeah, they're slamming it more with Tua than they would with Herbert. Tua's been producing this year. Like, he's arguably the best quarterback in the NFL with his numbers so far.
But if you put Stroud in the Dolphins offense?
That is a great question.
That's what I'm saying. What would the team do if the Texans called the Dolphins right now and said, "We'll do Tua for Stroud"? Would the Dolphins turn him down?
Can CJ really throw the ball down the field that far?
And Tua?
Tua can.
Tua's accurate.
Tua's accurate, and he has a good deep ball, and that's exactly what you need if you have receivers like Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
The next tier of guys is, I don't think you do it in real life yet, but in Madden, I think we'd switch the quarterbacks out and we'd want to see. So, again, not in real life, but if you were running the Cowboys and the Texans called and said, would we do an interstate swap, Stroud for Dak? You're doing that?
Yes.
Are the Cowboys doing that?
No.
Right now?
That's the problem, though, is that if an opportunity like that were to arise for them, I know they would say no, but their answer needs to be yes, because Dak is just simply not good. I've been a Cowboys hater. I would take CJ Stroud over Purdy as well.
The Niners called and said, we'll do Purdy and picks for Stroud. Or I guess if the Texans called the Niners and said, we want Purdy and your first for Stroud, the Niners say, sign me up.
I don't know. Purdy in a first. Purdy's good. I don't know if Purdy in a. Hey, yeah, that's closer than you would think, I guess.
Would the Lions trade Goff for Stroud?
That's what falls under the category of the team wouldn't, but I would.
This is again. We'll do
Yeah,
it in Madden. We'll do it in Madden. We
that's
want to see
the
him in the offense.
yeah. I would. The team wouldn't.
Yeah. And is
Yeah,
this and I know this guy's an expiring contract, but just as if we slotted this guy in as the starter, Cousins? Would
yeah.
the team move from Cousins to Stroud?
I think yeah. They need. I think they need to go to something. They need to draft a guy that they know they can have for a couple years because I feel like it's been the question of is Kirk going to retire or are they going to extend him for the last like 2 years?
So
And that's
Minnesota, Cousins is the cutoff of will they take CJ Stroud? But the tiers below Stroud. So these are the guys that I think definitely are doing it. These are this tier is called the I'll throw in picks. This is the I'll do it. Let's take Stroud. Maybe let's again if you want to move a guy, move a guy. Fields. Do the Bears
yeah.
throw in picks with Fields? Do they go, yes, give us Stroud, please, please,
You'd
we'll
have
take
to throw in
Stroud.
picks. You'd have to throw in picks just because of like the production of Fields has gone way down. He's been declining steadily.
Watson? Would the Browns throw in picks with Deshaun Watson to get
I feel
CJ
like
Stroud? Because the other part of that too is the contract as well.
yeah, if I'm the GM of Cleveland, I'll be like, you take his contract, I'll throw in picks. If we have to pay his contract, you're not getting picks.
Watson back to the Texans. What a move. Kyler?
Kyler, it's hard to rank him because we don't know exactly where he's at since his injury.
Yeah, and we were saying that too with the
He
Caleb
hasn't
Williams thing.
played. Yeah,
So
he hasn't played football it'll be 11 months and 5 days. December 12th of last year was last time he played.
For the other I'll throw in picks guys, I've got Geno, Sam Howell, Garoppolo, and Mayfield as all
Dude,
like
if you
we'll throw
traded
in picks.
Garoppolo for CJ Stroud, you'd have to throw in like 3 first rounders.
And Max Crosby.
Just because Garoppolo's not worth anything.
Hmm. Maybe back on the
Garoppolo
Niners
falls
he is though.
under like the 6th and 7th pick swap type of value.
So the bottom tier, and this is worse than I'll throw in picks. This tier is just called other forms of payment. This is I don't even know what's going on with this one. Is Kenny Pickett, are they throwing in picks or is this
Dude,
other
it's
forms of payment territory?
Dude, it's Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith, and Kenny Pickett in a first for CJ Stroud.
Are they meeting the Texans in the back of an alley? Is this not good?
Be like, I
Is
will do unholy things to you if you just give me
this a
CJ
section? Is this a sketchy Pittsburgh situation? But this is I have in this tier, I have Jordan Love, Desmond Ridder, Derek Carr, both of the Jones, Mac Jones and Daniel Jones. And I also have both of the Williams, Zach Wilson, or both the Wilsons, Zach Wilson and Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson in other forms of payment territory?
I would move. Okay, bias. I'm wearing a Broncos shirt.
How bad is it?
How
bad is it right now?
I'd move Wilson up to the picks.
Okay, just
he's
picks.
been productive. He has. I think he's about 67% completion with 16 touchdowns and 4 picks. Like he's been pretty.
Mm-hmm.
He's been pretty good so far.
So you're not just picks at this point. It's not that
just
bad.
Just picks. It's not like desperation to be like, I'll give you like the franchise if you give me CJ Stroud. Not quite. If last year, I agree with you 100%. This year, we've seen a lot different side of Russell Wilson.
The only there's one other tier of guys, and this is they're not even answering the phone because they're at this point they're just desperately trying to build a DeLorean to go back in time and redo the draft, and that's the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I was waiting for them.
Are the Panthers building a time machine, or are they just in other forms of payment?
No, the
Picks?
GM is locking himself in his office after midnight and cutting his thighs and his arms open.
Oh, he's a werewolf by night.
Oh, well, no, he's a little suicidal by night, is
Oh,
what
he's
that is.
suicidal by
Because,
night.
yeah, that was.
Yeah, the
It's tough to
splashing
see
part.
somebody produce this well. The pick after you in the draft, who you traded 3 firsts,
Mm.
a second, and your best receiver for.
And I'm not out on Bryce Young. I want to keep saying it. I'm not out on Bryce
I'm
Young.
not out on him, but he's going to need a lot of time. He needs a lot of time.
The only other guy I didn't really mention was Anthony Richardson. And for me, I have him in. I'm still in slam the phone on the receiver territory with him. I want to see what I want to see what he's got. Again, they were
Yeah.
producing basically the same the first couple of weeks in the season. And if Richardson had this development to this point, he doesn't throw for 470 yards. But
yeah,
does he have some kind of game where it's like, oh, most total yards for a quarterback? Like, does he break like a passing rushing record, a touchdown record? Do something impressive?
When he was healthy, he looked too good to have the opinion of trading him for Stroud. It's just because we haven't seen him a lot. So I agree with you.
And I don't think I'm in the perked up category yet. After this performance, I'm still pretty set. But if the Colts offered the Texans Richardson in a first, would they trade Stroud?
Oh yeah.
Richardson in a second?
I think Richardson drop it to like probably second.
You're still
second.
So it's still
lowest.
Okay, so it's still pretty good. Again, Anthony Richardson, if you're listening, I'm not saying it. I'm just trying to help you out.
Remington as a Colts fan, me as a prior Colts fan, we love you. Don't worry.